Welcome back to English from A to Z. Okay, let's unpack this. Have you ever know exactly what you want to say in English? Maybe you've even rehearsed it in your head, but then the moment you open your mouth, in a real conversation, your brain just goes blank.
Completely blank. And your heart starts beating faster, your throat tightens up, and all those perfect words just, they vanish.
Right. And in that moment, that horrible, quiet moment, the self-doubt starts. You start thinking, why can I understand this whole complicated movie, but I can't even put a simple sentence together right now? What is wrong with me?
And we really want to just start by saying, based on all the research, the answer is nothing is wrong with you. This isn't a failure of your intelligence. It's not a failure of your language ability.
Yeah, because there's this big lie that almost every learner believes at some point, which is, I freeze because my English isn't good enough.
But that's just not true for so many of you listening. Think about it. If your English really wasn't good enough, you wouldn't understand this conversation right now. You wouldn't be able to read articles or think in English when you're alone.
All that skill is there, but it just collapses the second you're under pressure.
Exactly. So the huge shift we need to make today is to understand that freezing isn't really a language problem. It's a brain problem. It's about biology and how your brain reacts to what it thinks is a threat.
That distinction is, it's everything, really. Language versus brain. So let's start with that biology because it explains why this feeling is so involuntary, why you can't just will it away.
Right. We have to talk about the threat response because your brain, when you're speaking English in front of people, doesn't see it as, a casual practice session.
What does it see it as?
It sees it as a social threat.
Wow, a social threat. That sounds a bit dramatic for just ordering a coffee, doesn't it?
It does. But that ancient primal part of our brain gets activated.
Yeah.
We all know about fight or flight, right? You either get aggressive or you run away.
Sure.
But there's a third response, and that's freeze. It's an ancient survival system, and it's designed to make you invisible to a predator. And that system is hijacking your brain.
So what's actually happening physically when that freeze response kicks in?
Well, your brain diverts all its resources. Blood flow is literally pulled away from the prefrontal cortex. That's the part you need for, complex thought and language.
Mm-hmm.
And it's sent to your muscles. It's preparing you to run.
And that explains everything. The mind going empty, the mouth feeling stuck, even simple words like the or is just disappearing. It's biology. It's not weakness.
It is pure biology. Your brain has temporarily locked you out of your own vocabulary because it thinks you're in danger. It's prioritizing survival over smooth conversation.
And if that's the biology setting the stage, what happens next is just...
It's an overload.
Yeah, this brings us to the cognitive side of things.
The cognitive overload.
And here's the paradox that I found so interesting. The smarter you are, the more careful and diligent you are as a student, the more likely you are to freeze.
It seems completely backward, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
But it makes perfect sense when you look at what you're asking your brain to do all at once. A native speaker is really just doing one thing. Thinking and speaking.
Just one task. But the learner, what are we doing? We're running this whole checklist in our head.
A massive checklist.
Right.
And it's running in milliseconds. Okay, so number one, you're trying to think of your idea.
Right.
2, you're translating that idea from your native language into English. 3, you're checking your own grammar as you form the sentence.
Oh, you're still talking.
Yes.
Yeah.
4, you're checking your pronunciation, trying to get the accent right. And then 5, and this is the one that causes the system to crash, you're constantly worrying about making a mistake.
It's like trying to drive a car, text, read the road signs, and panic about crashing all at the same time.
Your brain just doesn't have the processing power. It freezes. It's a cognitive traffic jam.
And that leads right into what you call the translation trap.
The translation trap. It's this really inefficient process that so many learners use. It's not think-speak. It's much more complicated.
What is it then?
It's thought. Native language, English translation, grammar check, e-speak. It's a 5-step process for every single sentence.
And under pressure, that system just breaks.
It shatters
Yeah.
because your brain gets stuck. It gets stuck on step 4, the grammar check, while also trying to manage the social fear from that big checklist we just talked about. The whole thing just grinds to a halt.
So we've got the biology, the threat response, and we've got the cognitive overload. But there's a third layer here, the emotional one. And this is where it gets really personal.
This is the real enemy. You're not actually afraid of English grammar.
No. What are you afraid of?
You're afraid of sounding stupid. You're afraid of being judged.
Yeah.
And you are terrified of making a mistake in front of other people.
And there's a name for this, right? Foreign language anxiety.
Yes, and it's a vicious cycle. The fear of making mistakes actually causes you to make more mistakes.
How does that work?
Well, your brain's attention is finite. If all your focus is on the danger of making a mistake, you have less mental energy available for the actual task of speaking. You're focused on avoiding errors instead of delivering a message.
So you stumble, you make a mistake, and that just proves your fear right. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy.
It really is.
Yeah.
And beneath all of that is the identity problem. It's what you secretly believe about yourself. If deep down you have this identity that says, I'm just bad at speaking English.
Your brain will work to make that true.
Absolutely. Your brain wants to be consistent, so it will trigger the freeze. It will encourage you to stay silent, all to protect that identity of, I'm not good at this.
So then, fluency isn't just about learning more words or rules.
Not at all. Fluency is about permission. It is giving yourself permission to speak imperfectly, permission to be a learner.
Which brings up a question I know so many people have. They think, okay, but I can listen to anything, I can read anything, I feel fluent when I'm by myself. Why does it all fall apart with people?
That is the listening-speaking divide. And it's completely normal. Listening is passive, it's low pressure, you're just taking information in.
But speaking is active. It's a performance.
It's a high-pressure performance.
Yeah.
So your brain treats the two activities completely differently. One is safe, the other feels dangerous.
Okay, so this all leads to what feels like the most important realization of this whole deep dive. If you take one thing away, it should be this.
It's that freezing is not a sign that you're failing. Freezing is actually a sign that you care. It means you want to do well. It means you're human.
Right. And it does not mean you're bad at English. It does not mean you'll never be fluent. It just means your brain needs safety, not more grammar rules.
So that leads to a tiny shift in your goal that changes everything. The old goal, the one that causes freezing, is speak perfectly.
Which is impossible.
Totally impossible. The new goal has to be communicate, even badly.
Communicate even badly. I like that. It takes all the pressure off.
It does. It shifts your focus from perfect delivery back to your actual intention, which is just to get your message across. Fluent speakers aren't waiting for the perfect sentence. They just move forward.
They prioritize momentum, which means action has to come before confidence.
Exactly. You don't wait to feel confident before you speak. You speak in order to build confidence. Every time you say something, even if it's clumsy, you're teaching your brain, see, I did it, and I survived.
You're proving the threat was imaginary.
You're literally building new pathways in your brain. So practically, when you feel that panic start, just focus on getting 3 key words out. Forget the perfect tense. Just communicate the core idea.
And trust that the person you're talking to cares more about your message than your grammar.
They almost always do.
So if you've ever frozen while speaking English, you're not broken, you're not inept, you're just learning. And now you understand why it happens.
You understand the biology, the cognition, the emotion, and that understanding is power.
So what does this all mean for your very next conversation? Fluency doesn't begin with confidence. It doesn't begin with being perfect.
It begins with permission to speak. Give yourself that permission today.
Thank you for joining us for this deep dive into your source material. We will see you next time.